Okay, excellent. Now, we will have lecture today, and next week, right, we will use the whole week for Q&A for our final project, right? Q&A for our final project. So if you have any questions, right, related to the final project, right, please write down your questions and ask me next week, right? And once again, remember that after 31st, after 5 p.m. 31st May 2024, no questions related to the final project will be responded, right? So remember that. Okay, good. So as usual, I just attendance a little bit, and then we will go forward with our lecture today. In behind here, 25, which is here. See that. See that here. In the passing here. Here. Then leave not here, leave not here, as is here. Bishop, not here. Okay, so you're ready for the lecture. All right. So in the previous part, in the previous lecture, right, we already have a look at the pitch, right? The pitch decks for a fintech startup, right, or a startup in general. And now we will take a look at Canvas, right? Canvas means the business model. Remember that I already posted very detailed explanation and techniques, right, for you to work on a certain canvas, right, a certain business model with Canvas. Very, very detailed with examples, right? So remember, you need to have a look at this one, right, when you work on your own Canvas, right, or a Canvas for your product, right, for your product. Remember that. A lot of things, including examples, so on and so forth here, right? And also an example was provided here, right? An example was provided here for us to have a look, right? To imagine, right? What is a canvas for a fintech product, right? A canvas for a startup, right? So what you see here, there are several things in a canvas business model, right? This one just kind of very short ways to present your idea, right? To present your idea. Now, in reality, if you want to call for capitals, right? Call for investors, usually you would have around less than 10 minutes presentation for your pitch deck, right? And then you submit this one to a group of investors, right? And they will assess all the things here while you present, right? And then make some questions, 5 minutes for Q&A, and then you go out, right? And within 24 hours, you will get the results, whether or not you will have capitals, right? How much money you will get it, and how many shareholders willing to put their money into your business model, so on and so forth, right? So this only also, the second important part of your presentation when you want to call for capital, right? Now see what kind of components we have with, a big example, right? A Canvas business model here. First one, right? We have problem, right? So the problem is a kind of what kind of pain points, right? What kind of pain point, right? We will have currently, right? What kind of pain point we will have? normally you will list three, right? 1 to 3 pain points, right? 1 to 3 problems that can be solved or that can be solved using your products, right? Using your product. That is the first part. Right, problem. And right, and from the problem, right, remember that we will have solution, right? We will have solution. Remember that you need to outline one possible solution for each problem you presented in the first column, not in the first column. If you have one problem, right, possibly you can have more than one solution. But remember, right, normally we will list one problem, one solution, right? So here, for example, right, they have 3 different problems, right, and they have 3 corresponding solutions, right? 3 corresponding solutions. Right. So in this example, right, the first problem is that in central situation, it is sometimes very difficult to find a taxi, right? To find a taxi. And then the first solution is immediately between driver and customer, right? You can find, a similar vehicle, right? Immediately between, a driver and customer, right? Customer. And the second problem, right? The price of a trip is not known in advance and sometimes is not transparent, right? So here the solution is a fixed fee known right when the trip is booked, right? When the trip is booked. And the last one, right? The last problem, right? Paying a taxi driver often requires have more cash, right? Have cash with you, right? And then the solution is payment processed by credit card, right? Or a payment app, right? For example. So we will have problem and solution here. Now, then we move forward to a unique value proposition, right? Unique value proposition. So what we want to do is to figure out what is the benefits, right, for customer that, right, a customer or the people who use a product will have in comparison to the existing solution, right? So here, right, what they listed, right, offering an individual transport solution in any big city worldwide, right? Offer an individual transport. Remember, individual transport or personalized, right? Personalized transportation, right? Personalized transportation. Now, under the unique value proposition, right? You will see that we have a small letters here, right? A small headlines here, right? High level concept, right? High level concept. So high level concept means that, what is the direction for your product, right? What is the direction for your product? So your product will be, a friends of everyone, you will be the top ad in a certain area, so on and so forth, right? So, right, for example, here, right, Uber use a taxi anywhere, everywhere, right? It's similar to the tagline that I explained to you in the previous pitch, right? Yeah, it's similar to that. Right. Usually, under high level concept, you want to put something that relates to the existing products, right? So that people can compare and contrast your product to all other products, right? Provided in the market, right? Provided in the market. That is, high level concept. Now, next one, right? We move to unfair advantage, right? Unfair advantage. So this one is quite, unique, and sometimes it is very difficult to fill in if you have, a brand new product or something, right? A brand new product or something. Now, normally, right, people will list, right, the thing that all other competitors in the market cannot copy, right? Cannot copy. For example, right, if we offer a product related to a blockchain and smart contracts, right? And then you list a person, for example, one of the co-founders is, Nakamoto, right? For example, and Nakamoto has, extensive, right, or substantial experience in blockchain and smart contract over the past 10 years, for example, right? With very big companies, so on and so forth. So you can list here, right? That nobody can. Or if you offer a product to children, to kids, right? For example, right? So if one of the co-founder is, a doctor, right? Or a person who have, very profound experience in dealing with kids, right? For example, a teacher in primary school for 20 years, so on and so forth, right? So you can list it here, right? As one of the, unfair advantages for your products. So in this case, you must just, figure out they have 3 billion driver network, right? So 3 billion driver network is, 3 billion car users, right? 3 billion car user. And this 3 billion car user usually have smartphone, right? In order to, communicate with customers. So they list them.
So does it mean that basically the supposed unfair advantage, I didn't have it at the time that you're creating the company?
No, not really, right? But before Uber user, they already deploy their product in several countries.
Oh,
Yeah, and then they call for more capital.
oh,
Right. So problem solution, unique value proposition, unfair advantage, and high level concept are the more important component part of a startup canvas.
For the unfair advantage, for our product, if let's say it is a unique product not really existing right now, so can this be an imaginary, like what we feel it is?
Yes, that's right. So for your final project, right, you can imagine, right? For example, one of your co-founders will be this or that or something, right? But list something that right related to problem and solution here, right? Right, so this one, right? Problem solution, unique proposition, unfair advantage, right? And high level concept are the most important part of the lean startup canvas, right? And then we have customer segments, right? You can figure out what kind of customer segments, right, will use your products, right? Will use your product. And under that, we have early adopter, right? So if someone already use your product or something, you can list this here, right? You can list it here, or you can list who potentially will be the first users, right, of your product, right? You can list it over there, and from that we have channels, right? What kind of channel you want to advertise your products, right? And for the key metrics here, right? Key metric here, what kind of thing, right? Will measures, right, your business, right? Your business model, right? For example, number of trips, number of app users, right? The average price for a trip, right? So on and so forth. Now, under the problem, right? There is more headline here, existing alternative, right? So you also need to do kind of market research, right, to see what kind of, existing solution are in the market, right? So you have a solution here, then you need to figure out, is there a similar solution, right? Is there similar solutions, are already in the market, right?
But that solution can be competitive, right?
Yeah, competitive, right?
So it's not our solution.
No.
It's somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else, right? Somebody else.
Can we use the same format? The same kind of layout like this?
Yeah, you are provided with this one for your final project. You just type in, right? The form is already there. You just type in. Yeah, so the form is there already. So you just need to type in, the thing that you have with your canvas, right? So here. Yep, so we have canvas form here, right? So you can, download and do it. Right, just type it. Yep, just type it. Right, just type it. And then make adjustment, right? Make adjustment with this one. Right. Right. Now, under cost structure and revenue stream, right? Cost structure and revenue stream. So you can list, the cost, right? Creating your products, right? Development, hosting, apps, right? Customer loyalty cost, right? So on and so forth. What kind of cost, right? You need to pay, right? Percentage for example, Uber, right? Percentage, right? Needed to be paid to drivers, right? So on and so forth. Now, revenue stream, right? Revenue stream here is really important, right? Now, for the cost structure, sometimes you can make up, right? Sometimes you can make up in your final project. That's going to be fine. But for revenue stream, right? You need to figure out how you get the money, right? How you get revenue, right? From the introduction of your product here, right? Because remember that with fintech product, right? Sometimes, right? There's no subscription fee, so on and so forth, right? So remember to list, right? All the revenue stream for your products here, so that the investor can see, right? The cash inflow for their investment, right? Where you can get this one.
So is a general idea all right, or you need some hard figures in dollar terms?
No, you still have half figure number or something, right? Just list where you get the money. For example, advertisements, right? So on and so forth here, right? Remember, just list that. No need to have number yet, right? Of course, but if you have number, that's fine. But no need to have that. No need to include the number. Yeah, so that is. Right. So now we will take a look at another example, right, to see how the canvas can be filled, the canvas form, right, can be filled. Can you see that? Okay. Is it clear? Right. So this one is an example for our canvas, right? Example using our formula, right? FINC611. Now there are two problems here, right? You see that we have problem, we have solution, right? Unique value, position, unfair advantage, customer, high level concept, existing alternatives, right? Existing competitors, right? So on and so forth here, right? So for example, we see what kind of problems we have here. high prices for grocery. Social distancing makes grocery shopping less convenient, and buying grocery may be very time consuming, right? So the solution for this, right? Online app for remote shopping with bidding functions, right? Remember, with bidding function, right? For grocery. And a shopping app with scheduling and 100% matching function, right? Matching function. So there's a lot of supplier here, right? Then the customer, right, or the user can choose, right, which customer provide lowest price, for example, or highest quality, for example, so on and so forth. And next one, an app that provide the user with the most cost-efficient purchases suggestion, right? Suggest you, right, what do you want to buy with a certain budget, so on and so forth, right? So problem here, solution here. So what is unique value proposition? A user can take the cheapest grocery on the market with a single click, right? With a single click. Now, under this, the unique value proposition, what we have with a high-level concept, an app that become a price line for grocery, right? Or an app that become a price or price friendly for groceries, right? For example, like this, right? Those can help people to buy cheap grocery, the highest quality, right? Now, when we mention about this, we need to pick out unfair advantage, right? Unfair advantage. Now, for example, here with this app is quite new, so they have just only tech founders had many contracts and connection among store owners, right? So what it means? It means that with this kind of thing, right, they can expand, right, the users of their product easily, right, because they have contracts and the contacts and connection, right, among store owners, right? And then they want to, right, expand it to, different segments of customers here, right? Millennials, couples, right? People, for people, household, right? Female baby boomer, right? Males aged from 20 to 60, so on and so forth, right? And among this, right, early adopter can be millennial, right? And female baby boomers, for example. Then we use social medias, right? Referrals, word of mouth, radio, right? So on and so forth to advertise for their products, right? And the key metrics for their business will be transaction size, right? Active customer, return on investment, or customer consistency, right? So on and so forth. Now they have existing alternative, right? Existing alternative. They have Walmart, right? And also they have small offline grocery stores, right? Usually, right, Sunday market, right? Or, weekend market, so on and so forth. Thus, customer can buy very cheap grocery at, with the high qualities, what so on and so forth for that. So you see that they have problem and solution. They have unique value proposition, right? They also have unfair advantage, right? And this one, the expectation for their product. Now, under cost and revenue, right? Right, they will have customer acquisition cost, right? So on and so forth. Here, distribution cost, hosting, right? The software maintenance, right? Everything, right? We can just here. And for revenue structure, right? They will get the money from subscription, right? Similar to Amazon Prime, or pay as you go, or per transaction fee, right? They will have ads from retailers, right? Or ad forms suppliers, right? They have cash flows emerging from the growing user base, right? So they list, all the revenue stream that may bring money to their company, right? To the startup. Yep. So you can, follow this kind of things when you write your lean canvas or business model, right? For business model together with your pitch deck, right? Together with your pitch deck. All right. So is this clear? Right? It's clear. Remember that you are provided with a form that you just type in, right? And make it right so that it's easy to read, right? Easy to read. Good. Any question? No? Yeah.
Can we skip a section if we don't really have anything to put in that section?
You can fill, any section, but, of course, you won't get marked for that section if you skip that, right? So that's why I encourage you to explore full possible idea for your products so that you can fill in every section that you are required to do, right? Otherwise, if you create a product without revenue stream, what is the point, right? Yeah, so on and so forth. So that's why, try to focus on, product idea, not product idea.
But the quantum,
Yes.
this final one, does it has to be the continuation of our team report, that one?
No, it's
No.
individual one.
Can be different.
Yeah, it can be different, right? It can be
Different.
different. It can be continuous of your business value. That's fine, no problem. But remember that, right? Needs to be innovative, right? You need to have new idea with that, right? New idea with that. Yep, online student, do you have any question? Do you have any question? No, right, okay. Yep, so next one, right, we move to payment, right? We move to payment, right? In the provided materials, right? You already have the reading material with payment, right? Anyone read the payment? No?
Many times from doing the final things all of them, so that's why we can get that function back to that.
Normally, no big deals because we are studying, right? We need to arrange, arrange our time, right? In order to meet all the requirements of, subjects, so on and so forth. Once again, remember that, right? You are provided with the reading materials here, right? Paycheck, right? Open banking and product management here, right? Remember, right? In order to, prepare for your future job or something, right? These three things are very, very, very important if you want to work in the fintech industry, right? But anyway, it's up to you. If you have time, you can do this. Otherwise, you can do it later, right? Okay, so we'll get to payment here, right? We get to payment here. So anyone can tell me why payment is very important? Why the payment sectors?
Because it provides cheaper transactions and basically the banking transactional industry sector of transactions is quite expensive and has restrictions with the borders, country borders. So basically, if you transfer money from one country to another country, it becomes even more expensive. And includes exchange rates as well. And pay tax basically decrease cut those costs because we are not connected with banks or they have their bank, which helps them to collect all the payments and transfer them to another country. So they avoid intermediaries, which loosens costs, reduces costs. And they also reduce exchange rates because of the selling as there is a retail sales and wholesale, right? So they work as a wholesale, as a broker who can reduce costs for exchange rates and gain profits on the wholesales, the big amounts of transactions.
Yes, yes, that's right. Right, so you see that, payments happens almost in anything of our daily life, right? You go to supermarket, you come here to study, right? You buy a computer, right? So once you eat something, right, you also have to pay, right? So it happens in almost our daily activities, right? But the thing here is that, to make a payment is easy. You just, click or give money, so on and so forth. And you don't care about payment. You don't know, what is the underlying, right, sins, right, or after sins, right, or after screen of the payment. We just click payment. And we only notice about the payment when there's some problem, right? You come here to study, you cannot transfer money from your country to here. There are some problems, right? And then, you have to find solution for that, so on and so forth, right? Or when you sell something, the payer didn't give you money, right? And then you worry about that, right? So on and so forth. So it is a more important thing in our daily activity, but normally, right, is ignored. It's not until there's some problem with that. So because the problem, then innovation in the payment industry or in the payment sector is very important. So do you know how many types of payment activity we have in our daily in our daily activity?
About for transferring the money, direct payments, the card, doesn't matter, daily credits or card payment. Withdrawal is a transaction, payment in a way. Depositing and loaning.
Right, so we will have this in our daily activity. We have customers, right? We have government, and we have businesses, right? Businesses, right? So when customer pay customer, what does it mean? It means C to C, right? Good, C to C, right? Government pay government, G to G, right? Business to business,
To be.
yeah, B to B. Right? This one?
G to C.
G to C, C to C, right? G to
C.
G to C, right? And what about this?
C to G.
Yeah, when we pay
Tax.
tax, right? Yeah, it is C to G. What about this?
G to B. Subsidies.
G to B. And what about this?
Tax.
B to G. Right? We have a lot of them. So what about this? This one is
B to
B to C, right?
lots.
And this one?
C to B.
C to B. Right? C to B. Which one among this is the most in terms of value?
Business to government.
Hmm?
Taxes. B to B.
The most in value.
B to B.
So think about that. Which one is the most in value? Which one is the most in volume?
GTC, the government usually doesn't.
The most in volume is this one.
C to B.
B2C.
C to B. Customer to business is the most in volume. Hmm. And the most in value,
B to B.
B2B. Right? The most in value is B2B. Right? So customer to business, right? In volume, right? And B2B is value, right? In terms of value, right? So that's why, right? They usually, or all, service provider focus on these two. right? Because one is the volume and the other one is value, right? One is volume and the other one is value. Now, question, right? Which one is the most advanced technologically at this moment? Which one? The most C2B, right? C2B. Why?
Business has to get money from customers.
Now, everything, right, with modern technology, so on and so forth, are now updated with apps, so on and so forth, a lot of things, right? So C2B is the most advanced technologically, right, services, right, among these all, right, payment things. Okay. Which one, right, have more rooms for improvement?
G2G.
G to C.
Remember, we just focus on these two. If not this one, and then it should be this one.
And the B2B.
B2B, right? There's a huge room for improvement, right? Bank to bank, for example, right? Needs to improve a lot, right? So that's why you see that, you know, there will be area potential or perspective in this kind of thing, right? B2B, not B2B. That's fine. So normally we will focus on this one and this one only, right? Because, you know, in the volume and also in the value. And remember that, right, in the future, B2B, right, will be improved with, you know, modern technology that are providing for C2B now, not for C2B now. One of the interesting thing, right, you see why, right, they want to focus on this and on this in the payment industry, right, in the payment industry. Okay. So just tell me, how do you think when you see this? What do you think when you see this?
Section.
Previously separated, and now it's intersected. Version.
No,
This one is the old logo, and this one the new logo.
more things gonna happen.
You know Mastercards, right?
Yeah.
You know Mastercards,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Why they have to move from this to the?
More things to be,
Overlapping.
Because first logo is basically separating two fields, business and customers that are distinguished between. They are not merged, and the second logo, they are connected in the, they are intersected.
Mastercard have to remove the Mastercard right inside the logo because right the payment C2B, the payment sector C2B booming, right? Get a lot of money, and including apps, right? Including, you know, e-payment, so on and so forth. They do not want everybody view their company as card only, right? They want customer view their company as a tech company, payment tech company, rather than a card company. So that's why they have this role, right? So this one is new logo of Mastercard, right? Because they want to get more further, right? Get deep into the payment sector because they are and so on and so forth, right? Not card, right? Not only card, right? So that's why, you know, Mastercard now implement, you know, their new logo, right? New logo. So that's why, you know, the payment industry is very important, yeah, right? So read the document that I provided, so that, you will have, understandings of what is happening in the payment sectors. Right. Good. Okay. Any question? Then we move forward to the next part. So when we talk about payments, right, so on and so forth, we need to mention about open banking, right? Open banking. Do you know what is mean open banking?
Virtual presence won't be there for the banks, like the branches won't be there, everything will be online.
Hmm.
Physical presence won't be there.
Yeah,
There's
now
no staff
yeah,
for the banking transaction.
now is everything also online. What is open banking and why open banking is very important for fintech startup?
It's space where banking services are executed without actual bank.
In very simple terms, open banking, right, is kind of make all customer banking information available for fintech company, for financial service company, right? So what you buy over the month, where you pay, so on and so forth, will be made available to financial services providers like fintech company, right? So what it means? It means that, fintech company can create a lot of services products, right, for customer in any banks, right? So now in New Zealand, remember that this month is the deadline for 4 big banks to open their data to fintech company. So what does it mean? It means that more fintech company will jump in that area and possibly more jobs in the sectors, right? Now, 4 big banks in New Zealand: ANZ, BNZ, ASB, Westpac, right? For this big bank, need to open their customer data, of course, right, with the consent of customer and with the register fintech company by the end of this month, right? By the end of this month. Now, BNZ already open, already right, ready for open banking in New Zealand. And one of the fintech company right in New Zealand already jumping. Do you type Blinker Pay? If you have Google, you type Blinker Pay, right? Then that is a Maori fintech company, right? They already jump in, the open banking with ASB, Westpac, BNZ, right? They haven't got any, they haven't got approval from ANZ, but other 3 banks already collaborated with this company, right? Blink Pay, right? You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're just waiting until the end of this month so that they can get customer data and provide services to customer. Of course, right? Free, right? Of course, free. But remember, right? Customer, right? Will get advertisements, so on and so forth, right? And they can get the money from that area. Right? That's quite important. Now, the components of open or the component in the open banking ecosystem usually consists of several things. Right, the first one, because remember that banking and finance, right, are heavily regulated, right, in a country. So normally, right, we need to have regulation and standard. Then, yeah, regulation and standard. We need to have something related to data privacy, not right? And security. And security, right? Remember that is for open banking, right? So next one, right? We need to have customer consent, right?
Customer get by opening up the data to these fintech companies?
Right, sorry, do you mean what the benefits?
Yeah, what are the benefits for the customers?
Yeah, the benefit is that, now you do not need to use a lot of cards, right? You need to use credit card, you need to use, that is one of the examples. Credit card, you need to use the bank card, right? When you pay something, when you buy something. But now you just use one click, right? You can use it to pay anything online, right? Buy things overseas, right? So on and so forth. And this provides a lot of benefits like, recommendation for you, right? How to save a thing, this one, so on and so forth. Similar to all the fintech product that I introduced to you in the previous part, right?
But aren't already doing that with the digital apps? Like we talked about Paytm, so we don't.
Oh, yeah, so it up to you. You want to use this or you want to use the other one, that is competition. Which one is more convenient for you, you can use, right? So now you can incorporate everything into one click, right? From banking, buying, investments, so on and so forth, right? Just only one app, right? For example, right? Along with that, there are a lot of things, right? We have to have customer consent, right? And we need to have this one, right? The fintech company, right? We have first party provider, first party providers. So this one include, fintech or other, services company, right? Services, right? Firm, so on and so forth, kind of, right? And we need to have API. API, right? API we have, right, to connect, right, between different systems, right, between the customer database from banks and also the app, right? So we need to have this four kind of thing, right, to make open banking operate. Right? So that's why, right, when you see, right, in New Zealand, open banking just started, then there will be a lot of fintech companies, so on and so forth, right, jump in this area, open banking. And hopefully, right, the job perspective for fintech areas will be improved. Now, in the document, right, in the document that you have, right, you can see the payment type, right, the one. You will see, right? What we have is sorry, this is the other one. Yeah, looking for the future. Looking for the future. Right. So the futures of financial service. What will be the futures of financial services? Right. You see that? What we have here? AI. Right. Already make a storm. Yeah. AI. Right. The first one will be AI. The second one will be the implementations of real finance payment system. Right. And the next one, right, will be CBDC. Right. CBDC. We already studied. Right. CBDC. The next one is the private cryptocurrency and stablecoin, right? Social license, right? Social responsibilities, right? peer obligation, climate, right, and fintech, right, and fintech, right. So fintech, right, cryptocurrency and stablecoin, CBDC, right, and AI, right, will be the most important parts for the financial, right, for the future of financial services, right, futures of financial services. So what we are studying here is studying for the future, not for the moment. Okay, for the future, not for the future. Right? Have a look, right, at this report. Remember that, right? What I provide you with here in the course are very important. Right, are very important for the future job career. So I spend time on reading all of this. Good. Right. Is there any question for open banking? Is there any question?
So the fintech companies has to pay any kind of subscription to the banks, or what is their expenditure in open banking?
It's an expenditure for the fintech company at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. In New Zealand, right, they don't have to pay anything, right, unless for the apps and hosting, so for their product creation, right, they can use data free. Right.
So,
But of course, the government will choose, because in order to be a fintech company that participating into the open banking sector, then needs to have license. Right? The company
the
needs to
fintech
have
has to get a license
Yeah.
from
They
the
needs to get from the government.
government. So there are proper standards and regulations framed by the New Zealand government.
Yeah. So you need to have a license. Good then. Okay, we move forward. Now we have payment, we have open banking, so on and so forth. But how we can manage, right, a fintech product? How we can manage, how we can amplify a current, right, fintech product, right? We have a product, right, and how we can manage a product, right? How we can amplify that, right? How we can make sure that the revenue streams will bring us money. Right, so we will focus on product management here, and this document, right, just showed you what does mean fintech product management, and how to amplify, right, a current product, Now the conclusion, right, of this is quite important. Right, the conclusion of this document, if you already have a look, right? Remember. Now the conclusion is this, right? So we can conclude that the management of fintech products, essentially represent the implementation of software product management process in the financial industry, right? So remember, software development from 636, you already know the waterfall and so on and so forth for software product management, right? But for fintech product management, remember that it's kind of software, right? Software product management, but in the financial industry, right? In the financial industry, remember? So there's a little difference between software product management and fintech product management. Right? Just a little bit of that. And normally, right, it will involve in 3 dimensions, right? 3 dimensions here. Conceptualize, right? Conceptualization, implementation, and commercialization, right? And commercialization. That you need to remember. Now, right, if you have a product, right, if you have a fintech product, how to amplify that, right? How to amplify that? Normally, we will have 5 different approaches, right? Of course, in reality, there's a lot of approaches for how to amplify a current fintech product, but right, I just summarize what are important approaches that you want to take here, not in order to amplify a certain product. Now, why it is important, right? Why it is important at the current market? Because there's a lot of, people know about tax, know about finance, so on and so forth, right? But the number of people who know tax and finance, tech and fintech product, right, are quite limited, right? Quite limited. So, for example, BlinkPay, right? BlinkPay, they have very huge source of technicians, right? Software developers, so on and so forth. And a limited number of finance people, right? Finance people, investment, so on and so forth. But the number of people who can understand what it means a fintech product is zero in the company, right? And I hope that after the introduction of open banking at the end of this month, possibly they will hire more people to amplify their current product, right? Within the open banking sector, not open banking sector. Now, in order to amplify a current fintech product, right? The first thing we want to do is to apply the user-centric design optimization. But amplify product. So I think actually an example, right? This could be helpful. Right? This could be helpful. Right. So first one we want to see is user centric, right? Design optimization. So what we want to do with this, right? Although we have product already, right? Although our product already introduced in the market, but we still need to do market research, right? User experience, right? Figure out user experience, usability of our product, right? In order to identify, the key thing for our new feature, right? So remember, if you have a product, you have only one feature, right? It's good for your introduction of the product, right? The first stage of the product. But if you just keep only one feature for the whole time, right, for a long time, right? Remember, other competitors, right, will eat your company immediately, right? So pay attention to user-centric design optimization, right? Keep doing market research, usability, right? Pain points of customer when using our current product, so on and so forth, so that you can figure out, the key thing for your new feature, right? New feature of your product, right? New feature of your product. This kind of thing. So you can improve, user interface, right? UI, or you want to increase, user experience, so on and so forth, right? In order to have kinds of design enhancement, right? That is the first one. The second one, right? If you want to amplify your current fintech product, right? Which relates to the first one, right? After identifying, key feature for new feature, right? Key thing for new feature, right? You want to do this kind of thing: feature expansion, and innovation. This means that you want to introduce new features, right? New feature for your product. Right? Want to introduce new feature for your product. The Mint, for example, MINT, that is a product in the US, right? A fintech product in the US. they is the a kind of payment app, right? You just type, you can see that. So the first feature of their product is the payment, right? But now they increase a lot of things into their product, right? Investment recommendations, bill payment and reminders, so on and so forth. So in order to enhance their users experience, right? The user experience. So for example, a company, right? This one is related to carbon solution management, right? This company is Punch company, and you can use Google Punch, right, to see the introduction of the company. So the Punch company includes carbon offset project, right? They include carbon offset project into their feature, right? They include this kind of reforestation, right? Energy saving feature, right? So on and so forth for their product, so that the customers see, the carbon footprint for a certain activity, right? For example, you drive car, a customer drive car from school, right? From their workplace to pick up their kid, what is the carbon footprint and how to offset this kind of footprint. They also incorporate this kind of new feature into their product so that they can enhance, customer experience, right? So, for example, another carbon management company, Cloverly.com. You can see that Cloverly.com, right? So they introduce a lot of initiative, right, into their product. For example, they have a project, right? Have the ways to save or the way to conserve oxygen, right, for kids, right? For example, right, or they incorporate the one of the new feature into their product so that businesses also can calculate, right, or can see carbon footprint for different activity in their company, and then the new feature will recommend the way to offset, right? The way to offset carbon footprint, right? So that's why, just think about new feature, right? What kind of new feature you want to put into, what you want to incorporate into the current product, right? So that you can increase customer or user experience, right? And also to get more customer. Right, the first one, what you want to see is to have strategic partnership, right, and right integration. So this Punch company, right? This Punch company forms strategic partnership with e-commerce platform, right? The Punch, right? This company is a carbon solution provider. They have a partnership with e-commerce, right? E-commerce platform, and then they incorporate, all carbon footprint into the checkout, right? Into the checkout when you going to pay money, right? Into the checkout, and they also recommend the ways to offset this kind of carbon footprint, right, for customer, and then customer can choose whether or not they want to offset footprint here. No, when they have strategic partnership with e-commerce, what does it mean for this product?
They will get the data. They come out.
They can leverage, right? They can leverage The customer base, customer information, so on and so forth. Advertising, right? So on and so forth with the e-commerce platform, right? So that the product, the fintech product can be, you know, more popular, right? Can be or can get more users, right? So on and so forth. Right? So normally strategic partnership, right, and integration is very important because, you know, and a fintech startup, right, very young company, they want to leverage, right, customer base, customer information, right, so on and so forth. So that's to make their product popular, right? This one, right, the globally company, right, has, you know, partnerships with logistic company, right? Logistic company, this one is the US one. Logistic company, right? Logistic firms, right, in the US, so that they can sell, you know, all the logistic activity, right? This kind of certain carbon footprint, and they also make recommendation for logistic firm, right? To how to offset, right, their carbon footprint in a certain area. And number 4, right, you want to think about that is community building. Community building and user engagement. User engagement. Now you want to, you know, create forums, right? Create website, create discussion group, online community, right? And the company also wants to you review testimonial, right? Real life story, right? So on and so forth, you know, to showcase, right? The benefits of using this product, right? So remember that why, right? Cryptocurrency is popular because they have its own community, right? You see that, right? Its own community, right? And also you see a lot of influencer, right? Influencer talk about their experience, right? The experience, right? They advertise their stories, so on and so forth. So that, you know, a lot of people, you know, they have catch, right? Or show their interest into the cryptocurrency, right? So that they will have, right, the community of, you know, cryptocurrency user, right? So it is also similar here for a fintech product, right? If you want to make your popular, if you want to make your product more popular, then you need to build your own the own product community, right? And also you want to improve, right, user engagement, right, for your own product. And of course, right? And of course, right, what we have in the next one, this could be, you know, monitoring, right? Monitoring and keep, right, optimizing of the this one is future. This one needs to be done, you know, along the ways you know, the product life cycle, not the product life cycle. Right. So when you mention community building and user engagement, right, remember it included kind of marketing, right? Marketing or something. Right. So in order to, right, in order to amplify a current fintech product, right, there are several ways you want to think of. Next one, design optimization, right? So you want to, right, continue with users research, right, market research, so on and so forth, in order to figure out the key things for new features, right? New feature, and then, right, you want to incorporate new feature into, you know, your current products, right? Next one, you want to have strategic partnership and integration, right? This one also very important, and community building, right, including marketing, so on and so forth. So at the current time, this one, and this one, right? 2, 3, and 4 are quite important for the way to imply, to the way to amplify a current fintech product, right? A current fintech product. You want to think about more new feature, right? You want to think about, partnership, right? And also think about building community, right, for your own product, right? Is it okay? Is it? Yep. Any question? No? Okay. No question? No. So remember, right, what I provided on learned related to this as well. So if you have time, remember to have a look, right? To have a look at all the documents that you are provided, right? Payment, right? Payment, open banking, and product management, right? And we have FinTech report here, right? FinTech report for 2003, right? From Singapore, for you to have a look, right? To see what is, what we have with FinTech industry in 2023, right? 2023. A lot of information here, right? A lot of information here. Skills, right? What kind of skill you need to have, right? In order to be employable in the fintech industry, right? Whether or not software developer has a rooms in the fintech industry, right? Or whether or not the decline carrier value proposition in 2003 have any impact on the carrier perspective of fintechs, right, in 2024, right, so on and so forth. And how cultures and leadership, right, can improve, right, the employabilities in the fintech industry, so on and so forth, right? So remember to spend time on this, right? The FinTech Talent Report in 2003. Okay, any questions so far?
In the fourth point, the community building and the user engagement.
Hmm.
So the company has to make use of the, create a community or the users group to get some kind of testimony of the existing users, how they feel about the product, actually getting some review about and posting in their blog or something.
Yes, yeah, that is one kind of thing. And that is one kind of benefit. And the second benefits for that is that you will expand customer base for the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I use that product, I see that it's very convenient, good, cheap, reliable, right? Then I can use word of mouth to other one. So you can expand the customer base. That is one kind. And similar thing. Yeah. Ashu, any question? No? Not? Ish, any question? No? Okay, so over the course, right, we have learned a lot of things, right? We have learned a lot of things, of course, right? We learned blockchains, right? We know, why, blockchain consume a lot of energies, right? We know why smart contracts, right, are important, right? And how we can deploy a smart contract, right? We learn about fintech startup. We learn the ways to co-capitals, right? And now we will work on everything, right, in your final project, right? Need to think about an innovative fintech idea, fintech product idea. You do not need to make the product, right? Because right, possibly you do not have enough time to spend on that, right? But innovative ideas, right? And figure out all the features related to your pitch deck and canvas, right? So that you can get capital, you can get investor attention, right? So on and so forth. That skill is the most important for fintech company at the moment. Right? You have tech knowledge, you have finance knowledge, but how you can combine this together in order to get money, right? You have idea, you have technology, you have no money. Can you do anything? No, right? So capital is one of the three pillars, right, for fintech to happen, right, for fintech products to happen, right? Tech, finance, and money, right? And money, right? Without money, we cannot live, right? So study this one, and if you will die tomorrow, right? So you can get, good job, right? Hopefully next year, right, after graduation, right? Because with the introduction of open banking in New Zealand at the end of this month, I think that more jobs, right, will be available in the market, especially for fintechs. Right, okay, good, right, any question? No, right, good, so if no question, then once again, next week, right, we will have the whole week for Q&A for your final project, right, remember to bring your question here.
This one question about next semester.
Yes.
Can we trust the schedule? Is it settled already? Scheduled for the second semester?
I think it's already online.
Yeah, it's online, but can we trust it? So is it
final or
yeah, is it final draft?
is it gonna be?
I think it's final one, yeah,
I guess it's
yeah, if it public on the website, and then it's final.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
You were doing this.
All right, so thank you for coming tonight, and see you next week. Okay? Yep, bye-bye, have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your plan for the week?
Thank you, Mara.
So far.
That would just enter all the follow-up.